Imagine waking up to silence. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that follows when something essential stops working. Your banking app won't load. The ATM blinks, out of service. The store clerk tells you, cash only. At first, you think it's temporary, a glitch in the system. But then you see the faces around you, the unease, the whispers. Something deeper is breaking. You realize, perhaps for the first time, that your money was never really there. It lived as numbers on a glowing screen, a promise backed not by gold, but by belief. And belief, as history shows, is the most fragile currency of all. This isn't a scene from dystopian fiction. It has happened before. And every time, it begins the same way, quietly. In Argentina, 2001, people woke up to find their savings locked behind glass. The government called it the corralito, the little corral. But to the people, it was a cage. Withdrawals were limited, dollar accounts were devalued, and within weeks, lifetimes of savings dissolved into dust. In the streets, people banged pots in protest, not out of greed, but out of betrayal. In Cyprus, 2013, depositors learned that the money in their accounts was no longer theirs. The state decided to seize part of their savings, to rescue the very banks that had failed them. It was called a bail-in. But what it really was a reminder. Ownership is conditional. In Lebanon, 2019, years of corruption and false stability came to a head. Banks imposed limits so strict that people stormed branches, not with paperwork, but with weapons. They weren't robbing anyone. They were trying to take back what they already owned. And even in the United States, 1933, the so-called land of stability, the banks closed. For 4 days, the entire system was frozen. Roosevelt called it a bank holiday. But for millions, it felt like a wake for a lost illusion, the illusion of control. The pattern is always the same. Banks fail not because the math breaks, but because trust does. Our financial system is built not on coins and notes, but on collective belief that tomorrow, the doors will open and the digits will mean something. But what happens when that belief fades? When too many people demand what the system cannot deliver. That's when governments intervene, not to protect you, but to protect the system. They call it stability. In truth, it's triage, deposit insurance, bailouts, emergency powers. These are not shields for the public. They are shock absorbers for a machine that cannot afford honesty. Because the moment people see the truth, that the banks do not hold their money, but recycle it, multiply it, and gamble with it, the illusion collapses. This is not about fear. It is about clarity that we live in a world where money has become invisible. Digits, screens, algorithms. Convenience has replaced comprehension. And yet, the more digital it becomes, the more fragile it is. If the servers blink off, if confidence fades, everything stops. Salaries, food, medicine, trade. In Lebanon, factories couldn't import materials because they couldn't wire dollars. In Greece, people stood in line for hours to withdraw 60 euros a day. In every nation where banks went silent, life didn't slow, it shattered. So what is the lesson? It isn't to panic. It's to understand. True wealth is not what sits in an account. It's what you can access when the system freezes. It's diversification, not as a slogan, but as survival. It's assets spread across borders, forms, and realities. Gold, real estate, cash, skills, networks. These are not relics of the past. They are reminders of something deeper, independence. Because the moment your survival depends entirely on digital trust, you are no longer wealthy. You are dependent. The haunting truth is that the financial system is not built for you. It is built for itself. It protects confidence, not people. And when the time comes to choose between the two, history shows who it will sacrifice. Argentina learned that lesson. Cyprus learned it. Lebanon learned it. And the United States, long ago, learned it too. That we will learn it again. Unless we remember what money really is, not paper, not code, not wealth, but trust, a fragile agreement between people and power. And when that trust ends, so does the illusion of safety. So if one morning your screen goes dark, remember, the end of banking is not the end of wealth. It is the end of forgetting, and the beginning of remembering what value truly means. If this gave you something to think about, stay curious. History doesn't just warn us, it prepares us.